has, at least in their ruling, potentially cleared the way for what Jonathan Lemire described as a treasure trove. And having been a White House staffer, everything that happens is usually chronicled in some way, even if the president hasn't himself written it down.
It's really big. And it's not just the words, Nicole, it's also the music. Two broad themes. They absolutely shut down Trump's claim, but there are two broad themes in the opinion. One is about the political branches have made their decisions. Biden has decided for the presidency. Trump has no standing to override. But even bigger than that, the way they set out the facts and their statements is this is a big constitutional moment. This is a big deal. They describe the actual events of January 6th with proper kind of violence and outrage for what has happened. So all of that augurs very poorly, not just for Trump, but his circle. Yes, and as you say, it means that once a petition for rehearing is denied, and I think it will be, it is settled in the D.C. Circuit. So Meadows, who wants to say there's executive privilege, Bannon, who wants to say it, anyone who wants to say it, it's now the law of that court that it is not, in fact, valid executive privilege, so that cuts out their main defense. Finally, I wouldn't be as certain as many others seem to be that the Supreme Court will take the case. The Court of Appeals has given 2 weeks for them to appeal to the court, and I think you can see maybe 3 votes pretty quickly, but I'm not sure there are more that want to wade in, and they know the impact would be to put this on ice past the relevant time for the January 6th committee to do its work. So I think it's a toss-up whether the court takes it, and if it doesn't, this is the end of the road for that proposition, and there is no executive privilege claim to be made on behalf of Trump.
I want to understand what you're saying about the Supreme Court. I mean, they don't have, just because Trump appeals it to the Supreme Court does not have to wade into this. And I ask you that because there has been so much angst showing from the sitting Supreme Court judges about the institution as a political body. And I'm not saying those concerns color this decision. But in terms of the legal questions, does this appeals court opinion in its many, many, many pages leave ambiguity around the law? Or would the court take it up for different reasons? Tell me what is in that calculation for the Supreme Court.
First, I think it does color it. I think they know that they would be responsible just by taking the case for putting it off the whole platform of January 6th committee, which we really need. Here's the deal. There was former Supreme Court precedent, still is, that indicates there's ability to weigh in by a former president. But when push comes to shove, Judge Chutkan and now all 3 judges in the D.C. Circuit have to be right. When Biden says clearly it's this and the former president tries to countermand it, there's only one president at a time. So the court could take it to settle the issue, but I think it's fairly settled, or it could think that, and they know the grave practical political consequences. So, as I say, I think there are 3 votes for it, almost on Trump partisan terms, but I'm not sure you get beyond that. We'll know soon enough, and I'm not predicting blithely they don't take it, but I think people, including members of the committee, are assuming too quickly that they will take it.
Wow. So, Maya, having worked in a White House, and I don't know anything about the paper process in the Trump White House,